What's up, guys? Welcome to another week of Prep, Cook, Plate, Repeat. This week's episode, we're making falafel. If you're from New York, maybe you're not from New York, you know what falafel is. Maybe you never had falafel. Here in New York, there's falafel trucks, halal trucks, shawarma trucks everywhere. So we're going to teach you how to make some bomb falafel with pita and that beautiful white sauce that we love. Let's get to it. First thing we're going to do is we need to chop all of our veggies. Okay? Now we're going to use a food processor because it's going to really help us bind everything up together. Okay, so obviously your first ingredient that you're going to need is chickpeas. Okay, you could use canned if you like, but I prefer doing a cup or 2 cups of dried the night before, leaving them in water, and then they expand out just like this, which is really nice. Go ahead and drain it, and you'll be good. So that was yielded from last night. That's perfect. Okay, in your falafel mix is going to go 1 pepper. So you need to flavor the falafel now because, again, when it fries, you can't do nothing to it afterwards. Okay, so everything, all the seasoning needs to go in now. So I'm going to go with a red bell pepper right in. I'm not looking for precision cuts, for real accurate cuts. I'm just looking for just rough chopping. It's totally fine. Just get rid of these white pieces on the ribs. This, also known as capsaicin. It's not spicy, but it's just really tart. You don't want that. You just want the sweetness from the bell pepper right in. So I'm going to go with half of a red bell pepper. Okay. Next, we're going to go in with jalapeno. This is what gives us the heat, a little bit of flavor. I'm going to de-seed it because I want to get rid of the ribs and the capsaicin. I don't want this to be overly spicy. I want it to be flavorful. So I'm just going to go in there with the jalapeno, but without the seed. I got a small jalapeno. I'm going to use the whole thing. No seeds, though. Jalapenos are tricky sometimes when you buy them in supermarkets. The ones that you got to be on the lookout are the ones that are a little wrinkly. They look like crinkled clothes. Those are very spicy. Okay? When peppers are like that, that means that they're hot, they're ready, they're pungent. Jalapenos in there. Garlic, we need garlic, right? I'm going in with 4 cloves of garlic. I'm going to give it a little smash. Okay. Next, I have here some parsley and some cilantro. I'm just going to tear off a bit from the top. Stems are fine. The stems have a lot of flavor. We get this notion that when you make, when you use herbs or something, don't use the stems. Use the stems. The stems have a ton of flavor just like the leaf does. You don't want to waste anything. You want to utilize as much as you can out of it. Okay, that's in. Next, we're going to go in with a yellow onion. Just going to cut it in half. I'm going to use half of a yellow onion. Going to peel it. So falafel is actually from Egypt, but a lot of different countries now do kind of their own variation, but the original falafel is from Egypt. I know now it's big in like the Israeli community. That's huge, but falafel originally is from Egypt. Okay, going right in with that. Packing this thing out. Okay, next, the juice of half of a lemon. Gonna go right in. You don't have a lemon squeezer, that's okay, use your fingers. Just let them go through the juice, and any seeds you have to catch, just catch with your fingers. Just like that. Save yourself, I don't know, $6, whatever it costs. Alright, next, we're gonna do our spices. Very important that we get these spices down correctly. So, I'm gonna go in with the tablespoon of paprika. Right in. Okay. I'm going to go in with half of a tablespoon of baking powder. This is going to give us some body to our falafel. Right? It's going to give us a little, I'm going to go a little bit more. It's like that nice fluffiness. We don't want a dense falafel. You don't want a dense falafel. You want a falafel that's fluffy and crunchy on the outside. Okay? I'm going half a teaspoon of turmeric powder right in. we're going to go salt and pepper. Nice pinch of pepper. And then a nice pinch of salt. I'm going to do one more. Boom. That's to ensure that everything is flavored correctly. Okay. Next is cardamom. So if you don't have these cardamom pods, again, it's optional. But this is really the key, the secret ingredient to making a good falafel. It needs to be in there. You need to flavor it. I'm going to use a mortar and pestle. And I'm just going to crush these babies up. Because I want the pod, I want the seed that's inside of the pod. Now, cardamom is very licorice. Kind of tastes like menthol. But go ahead. You can see the leaves, the pod is breaking and it's separating from the leaves. And just go in there and just kind of squish it. You could do this by knife if you like. A knife that you don't like, because it'll kill a knife that's sharp. So if you do use a knife, just make sure it's a knife that you don't like. Don't use one of your nice fancy knives, okay? So yeah, it hits you right in his face. It's like super menthol. It's all you smell. But it's a secret to a good falafel. So I'm going to go in. That was about a tablespoon of pods. I'm just looking for the dust in the bottom, for the grind. So that's why I have a little shiv thing here. Be careful not to fall. There we go. Catching the pods, and I'm just going right in. And I'm looking for the grind, looking for that powder at the bottom. That's it. That's what you want, and that's what's left behind. Those pods. All right? So now, a couple more steps. Some extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to go about 3 tablespoons. Right in. Okay. Then, we need a binder here. Now, authentic recipe goes with chickpea flour, which I have here. They go all chickpea flour. I like to do a different ratio. So I like to go like 3 tablespoons of chickpea flour. Okay. This is going to help us bind that falafel together, because if you don't put a binder, it's going to fall apart on you when it's frying. For extra crispiness and crunchiness, I go breadcrumbs. Unseasoned, plain breadcrumbs, not Italian, because it's gonna go against the other flavors. But that's what you got to roll with. All right. That's about a half a cup of breadcrumbs. And that was 3 tablespoons of chickpea flour. So we got all of our spices in. Everything is ready to go. We're going to give this a nice pulse. We're looking for kind of coarse sand, and we want to be able to form a ball. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pulse. There's a lot of stuff in here, so just do a little at a time. Let it get a second to catch. Let it do its thing. Also, I think I did. Let's see. No, it's in. There's a lot of stuff in here, so don't be like me and pack out the thing with so much. If you have to break this up in batches, go ahead and do that. Let's see if it does. All right, guys, so our falafel looks good now. See that? Kind of coarse, nice, it's thick. That's what you want. It binds well. Perfect. So we're going to keep that to the side and let that hang out and do its thing while we make our tzatziki sauce. So we're going to need about a cup of yogurt. Greek plain yogurt's fine. That will do. Right in. Okay. Next, we're going to go in with 1 lemon. That's going to help us get a little acid in this yogurt. That's what we want. Okay. Next, we're going to put some dill and some parsley. Those are the 2 main herbs in yogurt sauce, always. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut a little bit like that. I'm just going to tear a little bit of parsley. Again, stem is totally fine. I'm just going to rough chop these nice. Now, when you chop herbs at home, If your cutting board turns green underneath, that means that you chopped all the juice into the cutting board. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do super hard. You just want to go and cut through. Kind of like the old school trains, you know, the rocking motion. That's what you want. You want a rocking motion here. You don't want your cutting board to turn green, because if it does, you're done. Okay. Next. Boom. Right inside. All right. To this, we're going to add some pepper. Nice pinch. And add some salt. Right on. A little extra virgin olive oil. Right in. Pretty simple yogurt sauce. You can use a spoon to mix everything up. Now, it's totally up to you if you like your sauce super thick or if you like your sauce a little runny. You can always add a little bit of water. Totally fine. I like it to grab on. That's why I don't make it super thick. Almost forgot one of the most important ingredients is garlic. You need garlic in a good yogurt sauce. Can't believe I almost forgot. Garlic is essential because it's going to give us a little bite, which we want. We want those garlic notes in the sauce. It's going to really pair well with the bread and the falafel and everything together. So just peel your garlic. You can either chop it if you like, or we're going to use a zester. Zesters are best friends. Probably one of my most favorite kitchen tools. Probably the best kitchen tool I like, in my opinion. So right in, grate your garlic. Watch the fingertips. Then there's a little bit in the bottom. A little goes a long way, especially when garlic is raw. Mix that up. And that looks pretty good to me. Nice. Perfect. Let it sit. This can be made up to date in advance. The longer it sits, the better it's going to get. All right, so we're going to put this in the fridge. And we're going to get going on the falafel. We'll be right back. All right, guys, so our tzatziki's done. We put it inside the refrigerator, let it hang out, let it get cold. Pita, this is ready. Pita bread is going to get heated kind of last. You can do it in the oven or you can do it in the stovetop. If you have a flame gas stove, you can use a little bit like you would heat up a tortilla on the flame. You can do the same thing with a pita bread. Or you can go in a pan. I have a cast iron go on low heat. I just have the pitas hanging out in there because you want to serve this with a warm pita. So falafel is ready to be formed. All we're going to do is take our hands. We're going to you can form it into a ball if you like. You can do really any shape you want, almost like you're making meatballs. So that's what you're going to get. My oil is at 350, and I'm going right in carefully. Okay? Don't want to burn yourself. I have a baking sheet lined with paper towel, so when this comes out, they go right on there, catches any excess grease. And then very important, when it comes out, give it a little salt on top. Just a little bit. So form your balls and just be careful. Just dump them in. So we're going to roll these out. We're going to fry the rest of these. We're probably going to cook them for about 6-7 minutes. I have my oil at 350. That's the ideal temperature. If you go any higher, you're going to cook the outside and the inside's still going to be raw. We'll be back in a couple minutes to show you what color we're getting on them. It's been about 5 minutes or so. Our falafels are nice. A little dark, but that's what you want. That's beautiful. That's the color you're looking for. So you're going to go ahead, put it on your tray, line with paper. If you have a roasting rack, you use a roasting rack as well. Perfect. And we're just going to put a little bit of salt on these babies. Just like that. Beautiful. So we're going to let that hang out. We're almost ready. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to make our little salad that goes inside of the pita. So we'll be right back. All right, so we just got to do a little quick salad or so with the ingredients that go inside. I'm just going to cut one tomato. We're going to cut it lengthwise. Probably about 1/4 of an inch thick. Make a couple of cuts. Let's go ahead and put that into a bowl. Just let it hang out there. Next, we need an onion. Go ahead and half it. red onion. Cut the ends off. Peel the skin back. And we're going to do a julienne cut. That's all we're doing. Thin cut, thin strips. Take your knife. And just go ahead and make thin cuts. That's all it is. Put that to the side in your bowl. Lastly, we need some cucumber. Cucumber can be sliced as well. I like to leave the skin on for some texture. I like to slice the cucumber a little thick as well. Excuse me, not thick, a little thin. I don't want that to be the majority of the bite. I want the bite to be the falafel. Perfect. All right. Right in. I do a little bit of salt just to season the veggies. Right in. A little bit of pepper. A touch of olive oil, just a little bit, not a lot. And that's it. That's all you want. Okay. Now, we're going to start building our falafel. We're going to get the pita going. Be right back. We are ready to go. I warmed up a nice pita. If you have a pocket pita, you can use a pocket pita. I just got regular pitas. Totally okay. All right. So first, give us a little base. Right in the bottom. Let's take some of that nice sauce, spread it around. We are going to top it off. So I want a little bit on the base. Next, little tomato. Kind of like that. A couple of cucumbers. And then some of that red onion. It's nice. And then some of these beautiful pieces of falafel right on top. You can cut if you like. Nice 3 pieces just like that. And do another piece of tomato right on the back end. Boom. And then just top it off a little bit with some of that nice tzatziki. Boom. Super simple. You can always do this if you're watching, if you're on a certain diet, if you're watching your carb intake, whatever it is, you can always scratch the pita and you can just do straight up falafel with veggies. People do this a lot of time. You can do rice. You can do a bowl. You could do, falafel with rice. They do that in the carts a lot. Totally up to you. This is just a sandwich version, one of my favorite versions. But again, recipe is just pretty much a ratio of ingredients, and then it's up to you of how you plug in and plug out ingredients. But thank you for watching this week. Thanks for making falafel with us. You're going to love it. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite falafel that I've tried, not just because I made it, because it actually is good. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Again, we're doing, Prep Cook Plate Repeat is doing virtual cooking classes online with me, yours truly. I would teach you how to make, it could be this, it could be a video that we did previously, or maybe something you want to see upcoming, or again, we do custom classes that pertain to what you like, what you don't like. And we also have some upcoming classes coming up too. So don't forget to check it out. We'll see you next week.